Welcome to When I Fell in Love with Hip Hop STL. I'm your show host, Real Pacoso. We tune in live from St. Louis, Missouri. I say tune in because hip hop is a vibrational frequency that you tune in to. With that being said, today's guest is Young Quick. Talk your
Hey,
shit.
what's good? What's poppin', man? It's Young Quicks representing the West Coast, Oxnard, California. You know what it is.
Okay. Uh, with that being said, I want to ask you a question, man. I read something online that said you started off at 13 doing poems. Is that
Yeah,
true?
yeah. I started writing poetry. My mom had sent me to a camp, and one of the first things that they made me do in front of 3,000 high school students was read a poem that I wrote myself. So that was pretty. It was pretty nerve wracking, but it was pretty cool after. You know, it was easy.
Real shit. Now, like, how did you come about doing that shit though? Like, what made you say, okay, I know your mom made you do it or whatever, but what made you, because you had to have the skills to write that shit.
Honestly, I would say the women. I want the fact that I always had a game. I wanted to do something that kind of stood out a little bit, and from that, so at that time we were so broke we couldn't even afford a computer. So you know what I'm saying? Like the only thing I could think of was writing poetry with no beat, no nothing, just making words rhyme, putting words
Yeah,
together. Yeah,
yeah. So you came from the struggle.
yeah.
Okay. Can you kind of relate on that? You said you was from what's that? Oxnard, California.
Oxnard, California, Ventura County, the 805, 805, man.
Okay, can you speak on like some of that time growing up? I see you shining because you shining now, but you said you went through that struggle and shit.
And these are the trophies. Now, I mean, I wanted to be a professional soccer player, bro. When I was growing up, that was my first dream. My first dream was to be a professional soccer player. But I guess the lack of support from certain things made me, and then I felt like I was robbed from my dream as a kid as far as sports. So I just kind of just let it go. But luckily, I found poetry, which eventually led into music, and but as far as my city, like it's like everything else. I mean, it's if you really go look it up, like it's known for its gangs and its street life and all that stuff. So I'm just glad to still
Yeah, we're
be,
gonna get to that. We definitely gonna get to that part.
So I'm just glad to be alive and still be here. You feel me?
Hey, do you remember the poem and shit?
Nah, I remember the first two lines because the leader, which was like a senior in high school. You got to remember that I was fresh out of eighth grade. I wasn't even in high school yet. But my mom sent me because I've always been small in height, so she thought I was gonna be scared and intimidated. So she said, "I'm gonna send you to this camp with my older sister, which was already in high school, and it was like I think like 1,500 boys at that time and 1,500 girls, but like they kept it separated. But every night somebody had to perform, so like that was I felt like that's what kind of just like took me to a whole new level because it was basically a performance. It wasn't just more like poetry. You got to do it in front of 3,000. That was my first show, bro, without even knowing. So
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
yeah,
crazy. And you said you actually started doing the music and shit, writing lyrics and shit in high school. That's when you first. What was
yeah,
your yeah?
that's when I
What was your first song you ever heard though? Your first hip hop song you ever heard
the
that
first
made you
hip.
like, damn, I gotta do this shit.
Honestly, it wasn't a song. The fact that I think I went to a Kmart, bro. I went to a Kmart and there was a CD. You know how back then they used to have a CD section, and there was I saw a Mexican kid, bro, but he was bald headed. He looked like a cholo, but I didn't have that image. I never really had that image. But I was just like, damn, he looks like he's my age. If he could do it, I could do it. That's how I took it. It wasn't more like I didn't even hear the CD. I didn't buy it. I just saw it, and I was just like, oh, look
Yeah,
at that. I want to
it
be
was
in the
the
store.
it was the image.
Yeah, no, just the fact that he was at a major store at that
Yeah,
time.
the image of him doing that shit. You like, damn, he young as a mother. He my age doing this
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, I could do it too. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that was it. It wasn't even a song. It was more like seeing somebody else do it. You feel me?
right. So with you doing the poetry and shit, like with you writing your first lyrics, was that easy? Cause you did poetry? Cause
Uh,
poetry is just like, writing and shit.
yeah. No, well, I think it became easier, but the first poem was the hardest thing ever, bro. After that, I think it was just like I got the hang of it. I remember I told the lady that was our leader, I was just like, hey, I can't do this. I can't. This is the hardest thing ever. Why do I got to do this? I don't even know how to rhyme. I've never rhymed, and now I got like 9 CDs under my belt. So now I feel like it's nothing. Now it's just clockwork. Like I go to the studio and I treat it like a job. It's easy.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, coming from the Latino culture, how did your family feel when you told them like I'm gonna be a rapper, I'm gonna be a rap artist and shit?
I don't think still to this day. I think they still, they hear me on the radio, they see me on TV, but I think it's still like I'm just their family, And I think until they actually see you do it, that's when I'm sure I never really asked them like, oh, and I don't think they really ever told me, like, oh, I'm proud of you, but like I see them sometimes they'll be promoting my stuff and stuff, so I'll be like, okay, they rock with it and stuff, so I think it seems impossible to see somebody do it. I think that's all it
Yeah,
is, but they come around.
yeah. That's what's up. It's always good to have that family support,
Yeah, nah, and I got some of my videos. Some of them go to my shows with me, my brothers, and everything. So we're all
Yeah,
one.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
Was your roots always in America, like for your family history?
Nah, my parents actually were illegal aliens at some point. They crossed illegally, but now we're all straight. But I was born here, so I say my roots are Mexican, and as far as me, I'm I'm American. I'm second generation Mexican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So with all that being said, like how you feel like when Trump was in office? Like did it affect like how moved around and shit?
Nah.
Because they said in it, they said he was racist and shit. He didn't want Mexicans in town.
Yeah, I just think it was just more like he just spoke without thinking sometimes, That's it. But as
Yeah,
far as did it affect me, I don't think nothing really affected me because, I try to stay in my lane and just, I don't, I try not to get involved and stuff, and politics
that's
and all that.
real.
Yeah.
That's real shit, man. We're gonna get back to the music. When was your first time actually recording the song though?
Damn. Well, officially, like at the studio, I would probably say until I was like 16. But I mean, we tried from 13 when I wrote my first poem. We tried, bro. I remember when I was like 14, 15. Me and I was at that time I was already in high school. One of my high school buddies, his dad was a DJ. So our first attempt at recording was recording straight into a CD where you couldn't mess up, you couldn't do nothing, bro. You just one take,
Yeah,
one.
no, I'm talking about like afterwards though. When you got when you got the hang of that shit, and you
Yeah,
said I'm finna rap.
I was like 16, 17. I was probably, I was a little older. 3 years after I wrote my first poem, I started going to the studio more professionally.
Yeah,
At 17, I was already rolling with a dude that had a real big song. So I, at 18, I had my first song on the radio. So I think like it didn't take me long to figure it out. I just had to
yeah,
get through the little stages.
yeah. So what was like one of your first EPs or mixtapes?
Well, my first project actually, I dropped it. I had a big release party here in my hometown. I had a commercial on the radio. I did it, the way that I thought I was supposed to do it. We had a little street
Yeah.
team. We sold pre-sale tickets. We had like 500 kids right there. It was pretty cool. I actually to this day I still sell hard copies, bro. I got like probably like 8, 9 projects under my belt. Like 7 of them we did hard copies.
Oh man, that's dope.
Now they're like
You need to say that. You need to say that again, because
yeah.
people think that's not possible.
I was gonna tell you, now they're like collector's item, and I never really sold CDs for like $5, bro. I never really stood in the street. Like I've always held my value and worked hard and try to be genuine with people, and people genuinely support me. So like my CDs, like honestly, bro, sometimes they sell for $20, $30 a pop. It's not like it's a regular CD, And a lot of
Yeah,
people
hey, it's about hustle.
yeah, and some people just do it to support me. So if I'm selling 1,000 copies, I'm kind of doing it like these artists that are selling 1,000 copies.
Yeah, hey, that's like Nipsey, right? Didn't Nipsey Hustle do some shit like that with sold a CD for $100 or something like that?
1,000 on that was 100 racks.
Yeah.
So little things like that, but now it's just more like collector's item, and the people that have them are real supporters.
Right. Real talk. So who are some of the artists you like work with?
Well, like as far as like in my career, I worked with like obviously like the Latin ones, like Kid Frost, which is like the first Chicano rapper that ever went platinum in our in our culture and stuff. And he had La Raza back in the '90s. And well, now I recently just dropped a song with Baby Bash, which is kind of like a big deal for me because he's had songs
Baby
with like,
Bash?
yeah, he's had songs with like
How
T
that
Pain.
happen? Talk to
Um,
me. How that shit happen?
well, I actually met him through Frost years ago at a show, but one time I went to Texas to visit my pops. My pops lives in Texas, and I remember that he stayed out there and or had houses out there, I should say, and I reached out and he was in the area, and I stopped by, and I don't know if he just liked me or liked how I carried myself or the fact that I pulled up with my two brothers or I don't know. He that day he just told me, "Hey, Quicks, you know what? We're gonna work one day. I got you. I got you." He just told me like
Yeah.
that, so I just
It
kind of
was the vibe. He felt the
yeah.
vibe. He like shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of just left it like that, and then a few years later, we finally made it happen, bro. And now I got it on the radio, and now we're working on the video, and it's got 14,000 streams in a week. Today's been 1 week that it's dropped, so like I'm just hoping that it keeps growing and we keep building, you know.
Yeah. That's dope. That's dope. I ain't gonna lie. So what advice can you give some of the Latino artists like growing up coming in hip hop right now?
Man, don't fall for no hype and I don't know, bro, because I feel like it's always been a little harder for us, you know, like if you're not Puerto Rican or you're not saying the N word or you're not doing certain thing, it's like harder for us to cross over. And I never really grew up like that, you know. I've always stuck to my roots and you know, it was hard for me to even start using Spanish words because I always felt like I don't want to be known for the color of my skin or my ethnicity or what I am. I want to be known just for making good music. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even want to say nothing in Spanish. I just wanted to make regular music, you know, and not be
Yeah.
judged. But eventually, I was like, well, you know what? What like my fan base and people that are supporting me, half of them look like me, so I gotta cater to them too, you know. And
Yeah. You
eventually,
the face. You the face of Latino hip hop.
thank you, man. I'm trying. I'm trying. So you know, it's just I just gotta get my numbers up because obviously there's people with views and stuff like that. But I feel like nobody's there yet. You know, like the only person that we had close enough. I'd rather not say his name, but you know, everybody knows how he went out. You know, and like I don't know. I feel like we haven't gotten the right opportunity, but hopefully somebody gets to open the door and we could come in there because some of us could spit, man, genuinely without you know
Yeah.
without
I'm
having to.
here. And it was one song I heard you, one record I really respected. You was like, it's the ones I always knew this would always happen in my town. You
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah,
hey,
yeah.
that fucked me up. You was rapping like that. That's real hip hop. Like
Yeah, yeah.
how you end up getting them lyrics like that? Then after I heard that record, I went back to some of your past records. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
damn, you lyrical. You're a lyrical Latino.
Bro, my favorite rappers or artist is Eminem. You know, so I always like and
Oh
he,
yeah, I see now.
you know what I'm saying? Like he's never really said the N word. He's never really said much. Like so, I feel like you have to think of extra words. It's all wordplay, bro. It's all wordplay. So like I feel like now it's easy, bro. I just go. I don't think about music. Like right now, I'm not thinking about music. Well, obviously because we're doing the interview, but as far as creating it, I'm not. Like it's like I gotta hear the beat, and if I feel it, it just comes, bro. It just comes. You know, like that song. My
Yeah.
buddies it reminds me kind of a Tupac of back in the days, the Changes song. I was like, oh, that's cool, you know. But I just rap, bro. I don't think of nothing. I just rap. I just want to show people that I can rap. I can rap my
Hey,
ass
but you
off.
know what? For somebody to say that you remind them of Tupac
Yeah, that
and
was
you
crazy.
Latino, that's
Yeah,
real huge. That's big. For real.
I'm trying, man.
You need to salute yourself, bro. For real.
Thank you.
You know, so I want to ask you, where do you feel that hip hop is? What's the state of hip hop to you right now?
I think there's good artists. I think there's good music. Obviously, you know, there's people that pop, like there's a new artist that I don't even know if he's really popping out there, but that I've been listening to from Atlanta that's pretty dope. And I've been like, damn, like his name is like Bravo 3X or something like that. And I'm like, damn, there's new artists that are still gonna. So I'm excited because I feel like there's still gonna be good music coming out. But as far as Latin hip hop, I don't know, bro. I don't know who's gonna be. Like, I don't know who's gonna be. But I like everybody, bro. Like, I like as far as producers, I like Metro Boomin. I like everybody. I still like Scott Storch. You know, like I like everybody. I don't hate on nobody, and I like Kodak Black. You know, like I like a lot of these guys. I like good music. I feel like I can relate to some of these guys as far as you know some of it. You know, so as long as I can understand what you're saying and you know you're saying some shit, I'll listen to it. So I just hope some of us get the chance because, like, man, we need to get our shot, bro. You know, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
One of us got to.
So I wanna ask you, what's your top five dead or alive? And I'm talking about lyricists. And
Okay.
you know, Latino, they could be black, Latino, you know, white, you know, whatever.
Okay.
What's your
Okay.
top five?
I like Eminem. I like Jay-Z. I like Tupac, of
Okay.
course. I like Biggie, and I would say, damn, man, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. The fifth one. I guess I would say Drake because he's been carrying the last 10 years. You know.
Okay. And that's for the new generation. So I can see why you say that.
Yeah. You feel me?
Cause I feel like for the new generation of Latino rappers, bro, you would be considered like Big Pun was, you know? Cause
Hey,
I went back and listened to some of your records, man. You really spitting.
don't say that. I'm gonna tell you why. You're not the first person that says that. You want to know who told me that one time over the phone?
Who's that?
Eric Sermon from EPMD. You know who that is?
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, we keep in touch, and and actually that record you told me you like where I say about my town. He said he's supposed to jump on it. I'm just gonna throw it out there. He said he's gonna jump on it, so I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. So what, you know him?
Yeah, I've actually met him and shit. Yeah, we have each other's phone number. We speak from time to time. I just, I'm hoping one day we could connect the dots.
Yeah, you know, I thought I saw something on Instagram where he was doing something with Snoop and shit at Def Jam. Is that true?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I haven't talked to him until probably like in a week. But
yeah, something like president of Def Jam, Snoop, him, and somebody else or some shit going on. I don't know. It was some shit like that, some bossed up shit.
Yeah, the day that I posted that clip that you're talking about, that day he hit me. He said, "Send me the beat and the record," and I did. So hopefully we get that verse back soon. But yeah, he showed me love, and we spoke on the phone once, and he told me the same thing you say. He said, "Man, you remind me of Big Pun," and I was just like, "That's crazy,"
Yeah.
Like for him, he probably met Big Pun. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And you cold, bro. I ain't gonna lie, you cold. You got as far as like lyricists. Even without you being, even if you was black, white, if you was purple, you cold, bro. I sit back and I listen to the lyrics. You got a setup, you got bars, bro. You ain't just rap and you saying some shit. You ain't just telling nobody some stupid ass shit and make them bob their head and all of that shit. You hear me? You speaking some real shit.
I'm trying, bro. In my head, in my world, I'm competing with like the Eminems, the Drake. That's like if you want to talk about competition, like I don't think about local rappers or anybody in the area. Like I don't go to YouTube and look who's popping, who's not. I think about the Billboard Top 100, the guys that are really doing it, the guys that are making killing out of it.
And that's what you're supposed to be. Yeah, that's what you shooting for. If you ain't shooting for superstardom, what you in this shit for?
That's what.
What you in this shit for?
Exactly. So I'm trying, man. That's why I see it as like, okay, I got to keep up with them, So I'm trying, bro. And I hope that one of them one day gets to hear me because I feel like they'll be like, damn, man, he's pretty cool, He's pretty cool.
Real shit. Now, who are some like upcoming Latino artists that you know that you would say that you want to give a chance to do a record with, or that's popping right now?
Well, actually, I did one with one of these kids from my hometown. His name's Leo the Fool. He's doing it, We did a record called Whole Town on Friday. I gave him a shout out on the radio station here in my hometown too. He actually told me that that's the first time that they played one of his songs on the radio, which was a song with me. So that was pretty cool. So I want to give him a shout out. I'm trying to see who. Like I don't really know of many, but like I've worked with a lot, bro. Like a lot. Like for some reason, a lot of these cats that are like up and coming or feel like they want to start music and they're Latin or something, they do reach out, and I do probably like 50 features a year, bro, just off of working and
yeah. So what you be charging for the features and shit? I see you iced up and shit. Hey, I see you iced up and shit. What you be charging, me?
Yeah, no, I can't be really saying that, but because it just depends on the artist, and I make it work, bro. I make it work. Like I don't really, it doesn't. As long as somebody's genuine and I feel it, we'll figure it out. You feel me?
Yeah. So same thing. If somebody want to book you for a show, same thing, or what?
I got the email, I got the phone number, everything right there on the. It's not my phone number. It's not my. So like they could reach out, call, whatever. They just everything's right there, bro. I as far as like shows, it's just like like as long as it makes sense, and the feature I think is sometimes it just depends on the artist, bro, because there could be artists that I feel like, hey man, like I could probably, learn something or gain something from it in the long run. Not even right now. Like, fuck the money. You feel me? Like, so it just depends. Everything depends. I try to be smart. I try to be smart.
It's real.
I don't tell nobody really like numbers. And if they do, I try to, keep it like, hey man, if I give you a deal, we try to make sure that it's just between us and stuff like that.
Real shit. So, what's some of the like artists or celebrities you done ran into like doing this music shit?
Oh, well, I mean, I've ran into a lot. I've actually shared the stage with a lot. My first show, I opened up for Nelly in front of 7,000 people at the University of Reno.
Okay, St. Louis, we here, baby. St. Louis, we here, baby.
Banner, like Juicy J, Waka Flocka. I mean, I've seen a lot. As far as the Mexican ones, well, like the Baby Bash, and Danny Trejo, which is like in every movie, so like, I met someone, Felipe Espasa, which is a comedian, I've met different people, and it's crazy that some of them actually know who I am, so that's pretty cool, bro. Because I would never expect it. Actually growing up, a lot of the things that I've done now, like walking out a boxer into the ring, or getting my song played at the Dodgers.
Hey, yeah, I was gonna ask you about that shit. I seen something on YouTube. You was in a boxing trailer. You used to whoop niggas and shit.
Nah. My buddy was a professional boxer. He's retired. His name was Brandon Reals. He actually gave me the chance to walk him out into the ring 4 times, so that was pretty cool. And I think we used the gym for like a video or 2 and stuff, but just little things like that. And my city is known for boxing, bro. Actually, Oxnard is actually nicknamed Boxnard because we had champs like Robert Garcia, Fernando Vargas. So my city has its own fame and stuff.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, y'all Mexicans, y'all got heart, bro. Yeah. Y'all be fighting, a nigga be tired of fighting, y'all still be ready to come on, let's
go. Yeah.
Man.
That's how we're built, man.
It's all love. As far as like somebody want to find you on Instagram and shit, how they reach you on Instagram?
Man, and everywhere at Young Quicks. If you can spell Young and you can spell Quicks, you'll find me everywhere, man. I got a website, the official youngquicks.com. But everything Young Quicks, at Young Quicks, spell normal.
Yeah, that's how I saw one of your videos. Yeah, that's how I saw one of your videos. You got the pricing and everything up there and shit.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, that's 100. So how you get your name, Young Quick? I know it's DJ Quick. Do you know DJ Quick?
No, I actually opened up for him a few times. Never met him like personally and stuff, but I got it in high school, bro. It was good. It was in high school. We used to the Mexicans, instead of like fighting, we used to at that time, we used to think all of us could rap. So the Mexicans would actually battle against the African Americans in high school and lunch.
Damn. Okay. Yeah.
So during our PE or whatever before lunch, we would always practice.
So you used to battle and shit.
Yeah, but me and my homies would always practice, so we wanted to be ready. So we would practice, but they would always tell me like, "Damn, fool, you memorized everything quick. Damn, fool, like, how did you do that? That was fast." Like, so it was always something about fast or quick. So
right, so they're like, "Yeah, Young Quick."
Yeah. Well, they'll try, and I don't know if people remember this, but when you were born, I was born at the end of the year. So if you were born like at that time, they would either hold you back or they would start you school early. So they started me early. So I was the youngest in the class and stuff. So they put the young and the quicks eventually, but they wanted to call me Ness Quick. It was like a bunch of different other things that they wanted.
Yeah, all type of shit.
Yeah. But we stuck with Young Quicks,
So who your favorite battle rapper? If you don't, real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly I mean, he had success. I like Cassidy a lot, but then I actually met this guy and I have a record with him, and he's pretty dope. I like Disaster. Disaster's dope. He's a battle rapper.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
So
he battled Cassidy, right? Didn't him and Cassidy battle?
I think so. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I like
I saw that. That was a crazy battle.
Yeah, and Cassidy sometimes be watching my stories, man. So he watches this. Tell him I said what's up.
Yeah, hey, that was I ain't gonna lie. That battle did crazy views.
Yeah, nah, I feel see it, and I feel like if I prepare myself, maybe I could do something like that. But I would have to prepare myself.
Hey, I think you got it, bro. I think you got it.
Nah, I could clown.
Real shit.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna lie. Do you know any St. Louis artists or anything like that? Do you or you in tune with the St. Louis hip hop area?
I never met anybody except the St. Lunatics and Nelly, but I never really met anybody. And I mean, I would
Okay, yeah.
if you know of
It's a
any.
few of them. It's a few St. Louis artists popping right now. We got 30 D Grimy. We got D Honcho.
Okay.
We got two J's. I'm interviewing two J's tomorrow. We got it's a few of them. I got an artist that I'm bringing out pretty soon. He working on some shit. He in the lab right now cooking up some shit. Right, I'm talking about crazy shit.
Yeah.
Right now, his name Lil D. He crazy.
Okay.
He out in Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we.
Let me know, man. Let me know if I could, figure it out. Let's make something happen. Cause
Yeah. I know. Yeah. If the money right, everything right.
Yeah, nah. But besides that, we gotta connect the dots.
Yeah. That's real shit.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, well, shit, we're gonna go ahead and tune out of here. I'm Israel Pacoso from When I Fell in Love with Hip Hop STL. That's Young Quick.
Hey,
Go and talk your shit real quick.
man, make sure to follow me, support the movement. Latinos can rap. Don't sleep on us. I'm coming, man.
Yeah.
Go check out my new record, Down 3 Times with Baby Bash, out now everywhere.
All right, for sure. We out of here.